They betrayed him for being weak, but he climbed a tower and became God. In an unknown world, there stood a tower called the Tower of God. This tower had the power to grant any wish, like fame, riches, power, or become a god. But there was a catch. To get what you wanted, you had to climb the tower, face its challenges, and reach the very top. At the pinnacle of the tower, everything you desired could be yours. At the bottom of the tower, in a dark and lonely cave, lived a boy known as the 25th Bomb. Bomb had no idea how he ended up in that cave. In fact, he had no memories of his life before. Bomb found himself in the cave for days, and all he wanted was to escape. He tried with all his might, using the rocks he found in the cave to break through the cave's ceiling. Living in the darkness had grown tiring, and he longed to see the light. Bomb persevered, and after some time, he succeeded. He made a hole in the cave's roof, and light poured in. It was through that hole that Bomb first saw a girl named Rachel. She had heard Bomb's efforts and had broken the roof with a rock to help him. Rachel climbed inside the cave, and she and Bomb quickly became friends. Their bond grew stronger, as Rachel was the first person Bomb had seen since he woke up in that cave. She helped Bomb relearn many things he had forgotten and told him about the stars that shone at the top of the tower. Rachel had a dream of seeing those stars, and she aspired to climb the tower to make that dream come true. But Bomb, who only knew the cave and his best friend Rachel, wanted her to stay with him forever. One fateful day, Rachel made the decision to leave and run towards the tower's entrance, determined to chase her dream of seeing the stars. Bomb ran after her, desperately trying to stop her from leaving him. He caught up to her and asked her where she was going. Rachel apologized and explained that she had to leave him behind because she was determined to climb the tower. In that moment, Rachel was enveloped in light and started disappearing. Simultaneously, the tower's doors swung open, and a massive, powerful hand extended down towards Bomb. Driven by his obsession with Rachel, Bomb somehow managed to enter the tower as well. He awoke in a grand corridor and met the tower's guardian, Head-On. Head-On seemed pleased that Bomb had arrived. Bomb was surprised that Head-On knew his name, thinking that perhaps Rachel had told him. Bomb urgently asked where Rachel was, but Head-On interrupted, telling him that all the answers he sought lay at the top of the tower. Head-On then presented a question. Would Bomb be willing to take the necessary test to climb the tower and find what he was searching for? Bomb was determined to find Rachel and would do anything to bring her back. He couldn't bear to see her go. Head-On then altered the room and revealed a cage behind Bomb. Head-On explained the rules. To pass the test, Bomb had to enter the gigantic cage and break a large ball inside it while avoiding the attacks of an armored steel eel also inside the cage. If he succeeded, he would pass the test and move on to the next floor of the tower to continue his search. Head-On warned Bomb that the test was extremely difficult and that he could withdraw now. The tower was dangerous, and someone as weak as Bomb could lose their life attempting it. However, Bomb paid no attention to Head-On's words and rushed towards the cage. But just as he was about to enter, a girl stopped him by kicking him in the face. The girl named Yuri and a boy named Evan started speaking a strange language that Bomb couldn't understand. But don't worry, Evan had a special ball called a pocket that turned their words into something Bomb could understand. They said Bomb was an irregular, which meant he came into the tower all by himself, unlike other regular folks. Bomb was on this journey to find his friend Rachel, and that's why he ended up in the tower. Head-On came by to them and figured out that Yuri was a princess of Zahard. She introduced herself and Evan. Head-On warned Yuri that if the big boss of the tower, Zahard, found out she was helping Bomb, there would be big trouble. Yuri thought the test was too tough for a newcomer, and she said even folks on the 20th floor would find it hard. But Head-On said Bomb was an irregular, and Yuri thought he was harmless. Evan thought the same. Head-On had an idea. He told Yuri that if she wanted to help Bomb so badly, she should lend him a special sword called the Black March. It was part of a legendary set of swords in the tower. But Evan wasn't too sure about this idea, as only the princesses were supposed to use it. Yuri finally agreed and handed the Black March to Bomb. She said she did it because he had a pretty face. Bomb took the sword and went into a cage, where the giant eel attacked him. Bomb tried to fight the eel with the sword but had some trouble when the eel ate him and Bomb injured it from the inside. He succeeded in getting away from the eel and focus on the ball. Bomb kept trying to break the black sphere, hoping for a miracle, but the eel came back to attack him. Evan shouted for Bomb to ask the Black March for help. Yuri said the sword wouldn't listen to her so it won't help. But Bomb talked to the sword and it lit up. The sword's spirit talked to him and agreed to help because he was cute. With the Black March's power, Bomb beat the eel, broke the sphere and moved to the next floor. Yuri tried to follow, but Head-On stopped her and killed the eel with his staff. Now, Bomb found himself on the second floor, and there was a big battle with around 400 people. It was way better than the dark and creepy previous floor. Bomb was amazed, but he had no time to enjoy it. A voice from a floating black cube called a lighthouse said they had to fight until only 200 were left to move on. The test started, and Bomb used his sword to defend himself from others who tried to clap him. But then he faced a big, multiple-eyed creature. He was in trouble when two new people, Kun Agro and Rak Wraithrazor, came to them. Rak wanted to hunt Bomb, and Kun was curious about the Black March sword. Rak really wanted to fight Bomb because he thought of him as prey. Bomb looked at his rivals, and he saw that Rak was pointing his lance right at his head. Kun wondered why a talking alligator like Rak would be valuable. Bomb saw a chance to get away and moved a bit. Kun teased Rak by asking if he was Bomb's pet. But Bomb said that Rak wasn't his pet because Rak was trying to clap him. Rak got mad and stomped his feet, saying his name was Rak Wraithrazor and wanted Kun to call him that. Kun thought Rak was just like the other people who wanted to fight. He decided to leave, but he noticed something on Bomb's sword. It had the same mark as the 13-month series swords, and this made Kun curious. He made Rak fall and then ran away with Bomb. Rak got up, calling them turtles, and tried to find them. While Kun and Bomb hid behind the guy with multiple eyes, Kun introduced himself, shook Bomb's hand, and asked where he got the Black March. Bomb told him that Yuri had lent it to him to reunite with someone. Kun found this interesting and asked Bomb to go with him. Bomb agreed because Kun was the only person on the floor who hadn't tried to clap him. Meanwhile, Rak was still searching for them. In the middle of all this, there was a battle between a green reptile girl named Anok, with a whip-like weapon called the Green April, and a guy named Hats, who had two katanas. The Green April had a red mark like the Black March, part of the 13-month series. This made Anok a princess of Zahard like Yuri. While Anok and Hats fought, Bomb and Kun counted how many people were left, which was 268. They were focused on hiding and waiting. Kun asked Bomb if he had ever clapped anyone, but Bomb said he hadn't. He couldn't remember his past, only what Rachel had taught him. Kun asked if Rachel was his girlfriend, but Bomb said she wasn't. He felt like he belonged to Rachel, and that's why he had to climb the tower to find her. Kun said Rachel was like his rule. Bomb didn't know what that meant, but they shook hands to become allies. Bomb liked the idea of having someone on his side. The fight between Anok and Hats ended in a tie because they were both really strong. Then they met a guy named Shibisu, and they all decided to team up. Kun told Bomb something important. He said that Bomb shouldn't be stuck following the tower's rules. He should make his own rules. Kun also thought that if a princess of Zahard, like Yuri, was interested in Bomb, it was worth believing in him too. But guess what? Rak suddenly appeared and tried to attack them. However, the time was up, and the 200 participants for the next phase had already been chosen. The announcer said that anyone who attacked after the announcement would be disqualified. The announcer then gave them 5 minutes to form teams of 3 people. If they didn't have a team, they'd be disqualified too. So Bomb and Kun tried to team up with Rak, but he said no. He wanted to chase them as his prey. Kun told Rak that he would clap him and find another ally. Kun even got ready to fight Rak, taking out a knife from his briefcase. But Bomb decided to fight Rak by himself without using his sword. He dropped his sword and asked Rak to hunt him as he was, without fighting back. This made Rak pause for a moment. Kun tried to convince Rak to make an alliance, but Rak hit him with his lance and said he wasn't interested. As time ran out, Kun climbed up and grabbed Rak's neck. Bomb joined in, picking up his sword and dodging one of Rak's attacks. They were transported to the 3rd floor, and Rak still wanted to fight Bomb. But Bomb refused to fight his new teammate. Kun told Rak that it was dangerous for Bomb to use the sword because many people would want to hunt him for it. 2 participants started fighting, but an examiner called Lero Ro stopped them. Examiners were super strong and had climbed the tower before. Lero Ro said that there were too many regulars and some needed to be eliminated. He used something called Shinsu to make a big barrier of water. The participants had to get past it to move on. Kun wondered if Bomb could make it, but Bomb surprised everyone by not getting pushed back by the water. He was still standing on the other side. Lero Ro was amazed and told Bomb he had already passed the test. Then, Lero Ro made a bet with Bomb on who would pass the barrier first. The loser would have to answer a question from the winner. Bomb wanted to find out about Rachel. Lero Ro and Bomb both chose Anok to be their champion. She was the first to cross the barrier, followed by her partner, Hats. Her other partner, Shibisu, had a tough time. Lero Ro called the bet a tie, which was pretty cool since he was a ranker. Liro Ro agreed to answer Bomb's question, but he didn't know about a girl with freckles named Rachel. Bomb asked about irregulars, and Liro Ro explained that they were people who didn't follow the tower's rules. The tower had 3 parts, and it seemed like Bomb and Rachel didn't come from any of the parts. Then, a participant got frustrated and said he wouldn't get disqualified because of some water barrier. So Liro Ro used Shinsu to silence the guy and make him quit the test. Liro Ro returned to Bomb and the other participants managed to pass the test. They moved on to the red door test, on the 3rd floor. Before the test began, Kun thought about his past, how he was betrayed and exiled for trusting someone. He remembered his mother's words about not trusting anyone. As he looked at the sky, Bomb came up and asked if the ceiling was too bright. But Kun told him there was no ceiling, it was the sky. Bomb had never seen the sky before, which surprised him. Bomb asked if you could see stars at night in the sky, as Rachel wanted to see the stars when she climbed the tower. Kun explained that stars were just a legend because the sky was created by the power of Shinsu, and it wasn't real. This worried Bomb a bit, thinking about why Rachel would climb the tower without him. As the test started, teams of regulars entered a corridor to continue to the red door test. The next team went in, and they heard screams. Bomb, Kun, and Rak sat and waited for their turn. While they waited, a guy who looked like a balloon approached them and said he had a clue about the test. Bomb asked what it was, and the guy mentioned that the groups that passed in less than 5 minutes didn't scream. He thought there might be a time limit. Kun wasn't sure about the guy's theory and questioned why he would share it with strangers. The guy talked about Kun's past and how he was abandoned by the Kun family. Kun got angry and pulled out a knife. Bomb tried to stop him, and Rak stood up, ready to fight. Kun backed away to avoid a fight in the waiting room. Then, it was their turn to proceed with the test. They entered a room with a giant clock, and red doors appeared. A guy named Yuhan explained the test. They had to open the right door to pass, but they could only choose one door, and they had 10 minutes. Yuhan wouldn't give them any hints. Kun analyzed the situation, thinking about what the right door could be. Rak was running around chaotically, and Bomb tried to calm him down. Kun tried to focus, but he couldn't come up with a solution. Kun remembered his mother's warning about not trusting anyone, and he tried to forget the clue from the balloon guy. He also thought about a girl named Maria who had betrayed him when she became a princess of Zahar. He couldn't trust anyone. With 4 minutes left, Kun was still thinking. Just before the 5-minute mark, Rak, driven by instinct, kicked open a door and they passed the test. Yuhan congratulated them and explained that they just had to open any door before 5 minutes had passed. Yuhan knew about Kun's past and mentioned how Maria had traumatized him, making him someone who never made decisions unless he was absolutely sure. He also said that Kun needed companions who could make instinctive decisions, like Rak, and protect those eyes that don't know any doubt, referring to Bomb. Kun left without saying anything, and Yuhan wished him farewell, hinting that he knew what was in Kun's briefcase. Afterward, other groups also passed the test, including one with a guy who's always sleeping named Fonseca Laura and another with Anok. Bomb tried to ask Kun about Maria, but Kun didn't want to talk about it. On the lower floors, tests were still going on, and on the 2nd floor, there was a group of hooded individuals, one of whom resembled Rachel. They clapped everyone who participated in the tests, which was against the rules. Quant, the examiner in charge, informed Yuhan about the group that had passed both tests. Yuhan agreed to help and contacted Liro Ro to resolve the matter. Bomb went to get a drink for Rak but realized he didn't have money. Shibisu approached and bought him the drink. Shibisu introduced himself and his team, consisting of Anok and Hats. Bomb thanked Shibisu and introduced himself as well. Shibisu felt a connection with Bomb and wanted to make it to the final together as acquaintances. Liro Ro then informed them about an extra test, the crown game, which wasn't mandatory, but most participants chose to participate. In this game, teams fought to reach the throne, and one member had to wear the crown. Their teammates protected the crown wearer while defeating other groups. Liro Ro mentioned that the new group, the hooded individuals, would participate as well. Shibisu's group decided to participate first, with Anok using her weapon, the Green April, to fight the other group. She defeated her opponents and put on the crown, ensuring no one could take it. Bomb saw Rachel among the hooded individuals in the distance. Bomb was convinced that he saw Rachel and called out to her. However, the girl from the hooded group, who might have been Rachel, didn't respond and remained still. Bomb started to doubt himself, thinking that maybe he was wrong because if it was Rachel, she would have answered. So, he refocused on the game. Liro Ro mentioned that Shibisu's group now had the crown, and he began a countdown for the next group to challenge them. Rak wanted to go next, but Kun advised waiting to make the best move. The countdown ended, and 2 more groups entered, a random group and Laura's group. Hats and Shibisu split up to protect Anok and the crown. Hats handled the random group, while Shibisu fought Laura's team. Laura, who was usually asleep, woke up and attacked Anok using Shinsu, making her angry. Anok dodged the attacks and used her green apple to counter Laura's group, causing the Black March to react strangely. Anok noticed the Black March's influence and stopped her attack, causing Laura's group to decide to leave the game. Anok destroyed their cell and confronted Bomb, demanding the Black March. Bomb refused, and Anok tried to take it by force but was stopped by Liro-Ro, who disqualified her for leaving the throne. Anok proposed a bet to Bomb. If he won the test, she would give him her sword, and if she won, she would take the Black March. Bomb reluctantly accepted, and the test resumed. The test continued with more groups entering to fight. Kun managed to take the crown and hid it in his briefcase. He challenged the other groups to try and take it from him, using his briefcase to defend himself. After a series of dodges and maneuvers, Kun revealed a fake crown and placed the real one on Bomb's head, who sat on the throne. At that moment, the hooded group, led by Rachel, decided to take action. Rachel revealed her face, and her teammate Endorsi, another princess of Zahard, prepared to eliminate all the participants. The battle and the test continued, with Kun revealing his clever plan to distract the other groups while getting the real crown to Bomb. He showed his ability to copy objects using his briefcase. When 3 groups decided to team up and attack Kun, they were swiftly stopped by Rak. After a bit of rest, the 4th round began with more groups entering. 2 groups agreed to ally, but the 3rd one chose to attack the 2 groups, defeating them all. Kun revealed that the 3rd group, who didn't ally with the 2 groups, was their secret ally from a previous test, and he had planned this with them. Bomb's group saw their allies return to the cell but realized they got disqualified for helping them. Kun explained that they have to win the bet with Anok and explore the tower together. The final round started with the 4 remaining groups. A woman with a multi-eyed mask quickly defeated the other groups, leaving only Bomb's group, the hooded group, and her own. She went straight for Bomb but was stopped by Rak. She then charged at Bomb after managing to get Rak out of the way, and Bomb got defended by Endorsi from the hooded group. In the middle of the battle, Bomb recognized Rachel's voice but couldn't see her face due to the hood covering it. Rak asked Kun if he bribed the hooded group, but Kun explained that they were from a different testing floor and seemed uninterested in the crown. Kun and Rak defeated the other members of the masked woman's group. During the battle, the masked woman attacked Rachel, causing her hood to fall and revealing her face. Bomb rushed to protect Rachel but was struck on the head and fell to the ground. Bomb was determined to protect Rachel but was injured. Subconsciously, he activated his Shinsu and seriously injured the masked woman whose name is HWA Ryan. Bomb then tried to deliver the final blow with the Black March, but it stopped him by freezing time and manifested in its female form. The Black March told Bomb to calm down and enjoy his reunion with Rachel. It kissed him on the cheek, causing him to faint. Later on, Yuri was desperately searching for a way to reach Bomb on the testing floor. Evan commented on Yuri's urgency, and they were interrupted by a big man named Curtin, who mentioned a safe place for advancing. Yuri agreed that they should move, and Curtin wondered if Bomb, the rookie, was that important. Yuri only said that when Curtin saw Bomb, he'd understand, as the boy possessed tremendous power. Meanwhile, back on the testing floor, Bomb was still unconscious on a stretcher, with Kun taking care of him. Liro-Ro approached Yu-Han to explain what had happened during the test. The crown game had ended in chaos, with the crown destroyed by Bomb's Shinsu. Liro-Ro asked Yu-Han why he had organized the game. Yu-Han explained it was due to a mistake made by Quant, and his goal was to help the hooded group advance without Evankel noticing the other groups. Liro-Ro noted that the hooded group had completely ignored the crown and suspected that one of the girls in that group seemed to know one of the examinees, which went against Head-On's rules. Yu-Han reminded Liro-Ro that they conducted tests to expel dangerous ideas or powers from the tower. He asked if they had found anyone like that, and Liro-Ro replied that they hadn't. Yu-Han believed that organizing the crown game was worth it. Liro-Ro decided to leave, but before he did, he asked Yu-Han about controlling Shinsu without making a contract with an administrator. Yu-Han admitted it went against the tower's laws but mentioned an irregular named Yurek Mizuno who could do it. As Liro-Ro walked down a corridor later, he realized that Yu-Han had avoided the question because it seemed that Bomb didn't control Shinsu. He was Shinsu itself, which posed a clear danger to the tower.